Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of One Question, One Answer. I'm very excited because I have some time on our all big and powerful CEO's schedule here. I had to go through many people to get to you. You're always accessible to me, Jan, and thank you because I know your time is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a really important topic today, and
Okay.
usually I set up like a really non-important topic.
Okay.
But this is actually kind of important because you are, out in front in terms of crisis,
Mm-hmm.
and the best way to manage that. And I know a lot of our clients rely on you for it. You've written a lot and talked a lot about it. There's a lot of people and companies in the country right now that can maybe use some of your advice, and so why not have a little fun with this?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I want to talk to you about some crisis situations that are
Mm-hmm.
out there. So what we're going to do is, as usual, I'm not going to ask one question. I'll ask
Okay.
three or multiple.
And I don't know what he's going to ask. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to rattle off a few people and companies, and I want you to tell me if they were your client.
Immediate response.
From a crisis situation,
Mm-hmm.
what's the first thing that you would say they need to do?
Okay.
And that could be based on what they've already done. You can say this was the event, they did this and it wasn't right, or what they still need to do.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to give you an easy one to start.
Okay.
It's the one that everybody wants to hear your comments on.
Oh, jeez.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
The last weekend with the tape and everything is just the latest. The apology, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you recommending to Donald Trump?
So Donald Trump is like Teflon. I mean, honestly,
hair.
Everything just and his hair.
Yes.
But I mean, everything's going to bounce out of him. He is going to have his supporters are vehemently for him, no matter what. They choose to ignore any facts. And I mean, they just do. They just and it doesn't matter. And this kind of stuff actually kind of fuels them a little bit. So in one way, it almost doesn't matter. I think his team is doing everything they can. You notice that his apology was very scripted. He cannot go off script. Once Donald Trump goes off script, he gets himself in trouble. So if he's going to do an apology like that, it has to be scripted. Having said that, I still thought it was not a very thoughtful apology because he kept bringing up Bill Clinton, and I'm thinking, saying that what you did isn't so bad because someone else did something worse doesn't make what you did not bad.
Right.
So and he's not, Clinton's not even running. So the whole thing is just. But back to my earlier point, the man is just, he's Teflon, and his supporters are going to support him no matter what. So I'd script him as much as possible, but in today's election style and debates, that's not always possible. So, if you keep your fingers crossed if you're his campaign manager and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But know that his supporters will continue to support him no matter what, it seems.
I think that's good. It almost makes any crisis recommendation a moot point because he's going to do what he wants.
He defies all typical crisis communications theory and philosophy. He really does. So
let's go, so let's kind of stick with that a little bit, but let's go to somebody who I think actually does care and maybe paid a greater price for it than Donald Trump with all this, and that's Billy Bush, I don't know how far we've come as a country that we're still talking about Bushes and Clintons here. But who knew that it would be Billy Bush talking about what Donald Trump had said or being the vehicle for that. He was suspended and eventually let go from NBC.
Has he been officially let go?
I was trying to find it here this morning. I think that's a good point.
So
it's rumored that he is. The next move is his contract's going to be terminated.
Right. It's clear his career is over with NBC, and it's going to be a really tough road for him no matter what. NBC puts in that morality clause into all of their contracts for specifically this kind of purpose. So they always have a reason to say, you have this in your clause that you can't act in ways that are amoral or against our values. So NBC has a case. He's threatening to sue and all that, but NBC knows what it's doing, and they're following the exact same formula they did with Brian Williams. So we'll suspend you first, make sure we have all the facts, make sure we get all the reaction, but basically he's going to be gone. And I do feel a little bad for him because, he would have been in his late 20s during this episode, and I think he was probably in this celebrity sphere. So he was he was with a celebrity, and I think none of us are really all that mature at 28 years old, 29, and I think he just got drawn into trying to be what Donald Trump wanted him to be that day.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, that he got caught and he said those things, and it doesn't make it right. But we've all been 28 and all done stupid things, and it's unfortunate that this is going to affect what could have been a brilliant career, and it won't. So, I don't appreciate as a woman what he said, but I can attribute some of it to immaturity and being caught up in the celebrity sphere. So I think it's really, he will pay a bigger price than the true culprit, which is Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think that while I disagree that Trump's talk is locker room talk, because I've heard locker room talk,
right.
And I think this is different. I do think a lot of us have been there where our friend has been a little out of control,
and you don't
or
know
somebody
what to do.
who maybe we need to be a little bit more subservient to is saying or doing things like, okay.
Yeah,
but
you start giggling.
Billy Bush didn't help his cause by setting the Donald up.
Right.
Give him a hug. Give the Donald a hug.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So I think it was kind of a mess. And I looked it up while you were talking. He's negotiating his exit. So I think that's probably a nice way for him to get fired.
Right.
So last one,
and
this one's not a person, and it's one that is a little, like I say, it's easier, it's a little more black and white, but I guess the question is more, will this company recover, and how does it recover, is Samsung. Galaxy 7.
Yeah.
I was on a flight recently, and I got a little nervous because they're like, if you have a Samsung Galaxy 7, you need to turn it off because it could catch on fire. And I'm like, well, are we enforcing this in any way? Because there's no guarantee they're not going to turn it off.
Right.
And now it was recalled, and now it's not even, I've just pulled it up here, it's not even being called or recalled. It's the 7's dead.
Yeah.
They're talking about refunds and reimbursements and all that. So in today's world where phone equals status in some circles, and you're brand specific or a brand ambassador for something, is Samsung's phone mobile line able to recover from this? In order for it to, I guess, what would you recommend they do?
Yeah, I think they also have a tough route. It depends on how much money they want to throw at this, because it is going to be very expensive to recover from this. I mean, the first thing they need to do is find a new battery company that has a really solid, credible reputation that's been doing phone batteries for a long time without incident, and they need to form an immediate partnership with them and then come out publicly and say that. And then I think they literally need to flood the market with phones and literally give people, forget the refund, just send them new phones or whatever they want, but they got to flood the market with phones. It's going to be expensive. And then they have to, I think they also have to give, on the new phones, they have to have something really innovative that is going to change the conversation, so that they're not talking about the battery, but they're talking about this new amazing thing that's on the new Samsung phone. I know they had a bad battery, but wow, this new thing more than compensated. The company did the right thing. They gave me a refund. They sent me a new phone. They got a new battery partner. They're doing all the right things, and now they want to move forward. And then I think they're going to have to continue to innovate and just keep coming out, with better product and better, more significant innovations than iPhone, and just really to reclaim their reputation. So it's going to be very costly. I mean, they may just decide to get out of the phone business as a result.
Right.
But I mean, that's also a possibility. Like I said, it just really depends on how much money they're going to throw at it.
It's curious that you say that about the next one, because under news about the 7 is the headline 17 hours ago on CNET, Galaxy S8 may have a 4K display and some powerful artificial intelligence. So I think they're just making things up right now. That might be on the 8.
But none of that's going to
take
matter.
Your attention off the 7.
That's true, but none of that is going to matter if they don't publicly address the bad. I mean, people need
What's
to be
going to prevent that from
reassured.
catching on fire?
Right. People need to be reassured. And they're also going to have this other problem that once you're a target, sometimes things aren't even true. So somebody sets their phone on fire and puts it in a video, pastes it, and it may not even be battery. It may be just somebody who wants to further malign the company, or I mean, that you have copycats. You have people who do things, to copy and build and pile on. I mean, so they're going to have to deal with a lot. They really are. It's going to be very expensive, but it is achievable if they do the right things.
Yes. Well, this has been great. Thank you for letting me throw some of these at you. I always love hearing your opinion on these things, and I know our viewers do too. Some of which have worked with you on this stuff. So good insight. A couple of tough situations there for people to follow. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
Great.
All right.
Thanks for
Jan.
having me.
Bye, guys. See you next week.